You think breakfast in the Great Depression was just sad bread and hard luck? Nah, folks got real clever, turning pennies, pantry scraps, and straight-up grit into meals that could carry you till supper. Here are 10 cheap breakfasts that kept America standing. Number 1. Milk toast with raisins. This one was the fancy upgrade when times were rough, but you still wanted something warm in your belly. Families took day-old toast, usually toasted extra dark to hide the stale, and poured hot milk right over it. That alone was a full meal. But here's the flex. They'd toss in a small handful of raisins, sometimes soaked first so they'd puff up and spread that sweetness through the whole bowl. It made plain milk taste like dessert without actually spending dessert money. Kids loved it because it felt like a treat. Parents loved it because it stretched everything: bread that was about to go bad, milk that needed using, and raisins that lasted forever. Warm, cheap, and honestly kinda cozy. Number 2. Potato pancakes. Back in the early 1930s, when flour was scarce and money was tighter than a rusted jar lid, potato pancakes were a straight-up lifesaver. Potatoes cost about a penny each, and just a handful could turn into a full breakfast for the whole family. Folks would grate raw potatoes by hand, squeeze out every drop of water, then mix them with a pinch of salt and maybe a spoonful of flour if they had it. An egg was a luxury, so most times it wasn't even in the picture. Those shaggy patties hit a hot cast iron skillet slicked with saved bacon grease, and that's where the magic happened. Crispy on the outside, soft and steamy on the inside. The smell alone could drag kids out of bed. Served plain, or with applesauce if you were lucky, these pancakes stuck to your ribs and kept you moving till lunchtime. Cheap, filling, and downright genius. That's Depression cooking at its finest. Number 3. Apple butter toast. Apple butter toast was how families turned fall apples into year-round breakfast gold. Apples were cheap, sometimes free if you had a tree nearby, so folks cooked them down low and slow with just a little sugar until they turned thick, dark, and spreadable. That apple butter packed a big flavor without needing much sweetness. Come morning, a slice of toast got slathered with it, no butter required. The natural sugars gave quick energy, and the deep apple flavor made it feel like more than just bread. Kids thought they were getting something special. Parents knew they were serving up thrift at its finest. One batch of apple butter could last all winter, making this one of the smartest, cheapest breakfasts of the Depression years. Number 4. Cinnamon sugar toast. Cinnamon sugar toast was the poor man's pastry, and it hit every time. When butter was pricey and bakery treats were a no-go, families made their own magic with just toast, a little fat, and a shake of cinnamon sugar. Bread got toasted hard, extra crispy mattered, then brushed with whatever you had on hand, usually bacon grease or a dab of lard. On top went a homemade mix of sugar and cinnamon, sprinkled just right. The heat melted everything together, turning plain toast into something that smelled like a treat and tasted even better. Kids thought it was dessert for breakfast. Parents knew it was cheap fuel that kept everyone happy. Simple, sweet, and straight-up comforting, this one made rough mornings feel a little lighter. Number 5. Dandelion Root Tea. When coffee prices shot up, folks didn't panic. They went outside. Dandelion Root Tea was the backyard brew that kept mornings moving when coffee was out of reach. Families dug up dandelion roots, scrubbed them clean, chopped them up, and roasted them until dark and toasty. Ground up and steeped in hot water, it poured out looking like coffee and smelling warm and bitter in a good way. No caffeine, but plenty of comfort. It filled the cup, warmed the hands, and paired just right with a slice of toast. Best part? It was free. This wasn't fancy or trendy. It was practical, and it worked. Plenty of folks kept drinking it even after times got better, because once you learn how to make something from nothing, you don't forget it. Number 6. Fried cornmeal mush. Fried cornmeal mush was the comeback king of Depression breakfasts. Nothing went to waste back then, especially food from the night before. Families cooked cornmeal mush in big batches, just cornmeal, water, and salt, then poured the leftovers into pans to set overnight. Come morning, that solid block got sliced and dropped into a hot skillet with bacon grease or lard. It fried up golden and crispy on the outside while staying soft and warm inside. Folks topped it with molasses, syrup, or just a sprinkle of sugar if that's all they had. One pot of mush meant 2 breakfasts, and that kind of planning kept families fed. It was cheap, filling, and honestly tasted better the second day. Number 7. Apple hand pies. Apple hand pies were the grab-and-go breakfast before anybody called it that. Families used dried apples because they were cheap, shelf-stable, and packed with flavor. The apples got soaked overnight to plump them back up, then wrapped in a simple dough made from flour, water, and a little saved fat. No fancy rolling, just patch it together and bake. These pies were usually made the night before, so they didn't burn morning fuel, then eaten cold at breakfast or tucked into pockets for later. Sweet, filling, and portable, they made a rough morning feel special. One small pie could carry you halfway through the day, which is exactly why they stuck around. Number 8. Cream of wheat. Cream of wheat was comfort in a bowl when money was tight and mornings were cold. During the Great Depression, this stuff was cheap, filling, and easy to stretch. Families learned quickly that you didn't cook it thick. You added extra water and let it simmer longer. That slow cooking made it smooth, creamy, and way more filling than it had any right to be. A small pat of butter or a sprinkle of cinnamon turned it into something that felt almost fancy. Moms loved it because it was easy on kids' stomachs, and dads liked it because it stuck with you till lunchtime. One box could feed a whole family for nearly a week, and that made it a breakfast hero. Number 9. Rolled oats with milk. Rolled oats were straight-up survival fuel during the Great Depression, cheap, filling, and impossible to waste. In the early 1930s, a big container of oats cost just a few cents and could feed a family for days. The real trick was soaking them overnight in water. That cut cooking time, saved fuel, and made the oats cook up extra creamy. In the morning, families warmed them slowly, thinning them with milk or water depending on what they had. Sugar was a luxury, so most folks sweetened oats with molasses, which was cheaper and packed with energy. One bowl could keep you full and clear till noon, which mattered when lunch wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't fancy, but it got the job done every single time. Number 10. Rice pudding. Rice pudding was Depression-era comfort, disguised as a luxury. Rice was dirt cheap in the early 1930s, just a few cents a pound, and families learned real quick how to stretch it. Leftover rice from supper never went to waste. Come morning, it went straight back on the stove with milk if you had it, water if you didn't. Slow simmer, low heat. The grains broke down, turning thick and creamy all on their own. A pinch of salt made the sweetness pop, and if times were good, maybe a spoon of sugar or a few raisins went in. Kids loved it because it felt like dessert for breakfast. Parents loved it because one pot could feed everybody. Warm, filling, and cheap as dirt, rice pudding carried families through some of the hardest mornings in American history. That's how folks made it through the hardest mornings America ever saw. No waste, no extras, just grit, and a hot breakfast that kept you standing. If these Depression-era meals taught us anything, it's this: simple food done smart can still carry a family. Hit like, subscribe, and remember, the toughest times built the strongest kitchens.